What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap, as well as our DueDEX short and long website that we use, as well as I would like to touch upon Bitmints, because as you guys know, Bitmints has been a topic of discussion on the channel for quite some time, and I haven't made a video on it in a long time, and I know a lot of you guys are interested in this. So if you have any interest still, definitely make sure to watch the video to the end, because I will be covering this the last thing in today's video. So otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. Alright guys, so yesterday I made a video basically that XRP Ripple is in a critical moment and we are testing a key resistance level within the high-low middle moving average, as you guys can see currently right now on XRP. So I would like to go into quite a bit of discussion on XRP as well as the other cryptocurrencies. But before I do, I just want to talk about the current coin market cap. You can see, I just need to refresh this really quick, the majority of the market is actually down today in red, down about 3 to 5%, I'd say, across the board. So we ultimately don't look too bad, but we are starting to see a lot of red in the zone. And this is due to the recovery that I figured the market kind of needed going into a more bullish market that we're starting to expect. And in order for us to kind of regain those previous highs, we do need to considerably move up in price. So as you can see right now, I am focusing on Bitcoin. Then we'll talk about the other altcoins in a second. But you can see in yesterday's video, if you did watch yesterday's video, which is this one right here, we talked about how we are currently retesting a critical resistance zone on majority of the cryptocurrencies. It kind of has to do with XRP, also with Bitcoin. But you can see this yellow line that is drawn all across the board on Bitcoin, and we'll show you the ones on XRP in a second. But you can see how we're kind of in a problem zone right here, as 9,500 does appear to be quite a bit of resistance for the coin. Now we also have to take into consideration we are nearing overbought and we are a little bit overextended on the MACD. But you'll notice if I just show more history in the coin, you can see why this yellow line is of a key importance. You can see right here we have hit resistances in the past where this acts as a strong resistance where the price is not able to recover above there. And then scrolling down a little bit earlier in 2019, you can see how it's acted as an extreme support for this coin. So this is a very, very, very strong hurdle that the coin does need to break through. The price does need to break through in order for it to act on our benefits. So until we break through there, I'm going to be short-term bearish. You can see numerous attempts that we've had where it's acted as a resistance or a support in the past. If I scroll this out a little bit further into 2017, you can see we don't really have much of that resistance besides here showing us the bottom where we then resulted in a double top. But you can see for the most part, we do have a lot of key resistances and supports at this level. So until we can break through here, I don't expect us to be moving up in price in the short term. Now, I do anticipate us to consolidate out from here. There is a very high chance that this could be the bottom right now, being around 92.83 on Bitcoin, and then we could immediately resurge out through here and expect to see prices way above $10,000 on Bitcoin. There's also that likelihood that we could consolidate back down and once again retest this bottom support, as you can see, which has been tested numerous times in the past. We will then once again be committing a new higher low. As you can see, this would be the fourth one, as we have 1, 2, and 3 on the market. And then ultimately with this correction, we'll lower ourselves on the RSI and it will give us enough support to inevitably break through here with enough volume to extend the price into 10,500 and so on and so forth. So in regards to investing strategies, there are two possible ones. I ultimately recommend combining both, and that is having two separate bags or two separate, wallets for investment, having one long-term position in the market as well as having funds to kind of trade around and critique your short-term trading style and your short-term trading positions. So what I mean by that is obviously having a position open on Bitcoin that is due for maybe 6 to a year in regards to long-term holding, or at least until the May 2020 halving comes. And that's about 4 months from now, January, February, March, April, May. Yep, 4 months. Ultimately, holding on until that position, we could ultimately see Bitcoin in the long term approach $13,000 to $15,000 very easily. But for the short term, for that bag, we have a couple of options here. We could either be at the bottom of what appears to be the support, and then we could ultimately break through here, or we can see consolidation. Notice the last time we retested resistance on Bitcoin, we ended up consolidating back down to our well-known support correcting us down to 50 on the RSI, and then inevitably building up the support to break through it and go to a higher level. This is definitely a possibility and a case. If that is your case, I would highly recommend a short position on DueDEX. This is very easily obtained by basically having money in your account. You can see your available balance, and then by typing in the quantity that you want with a leverage position open. Obviously high risk for the more leverage you do, and then selling short in anticipation that this coin will most likely, fall back down to around $9,000 before ultimately breaking through and moving up to higher levels. Now, with that being said, I do want to discuss XRP and the other cryptos. As it looks like the way the market is, we are hitting a strong resistance, which could favor a short position on DueDEX. Notice how on XRP right now, we are starting to kind of fight negatively on this high-low MMA right here, as well as the support, which is now the downwards support level that we do have. Currently, when we were below here, it was acting as a resistance in a descending triangle format, but it's now acting as a support potentially on as long as we hold above this position right here. If we manage to break through here, which there is a high chance, then it's ultimately going to pretty much let the rest of the market kind of pull back down with it. So when you throw in XRP hitting resistance, Bitcoin hitting resistance, as well as Litecoin and Ethereum also hitting resistance, there's a very high chance that a short position is the way to go in regards to short-term trading, and then ultimately expecting and anticipating a correction back down to support, maybe 170 for Ethereum, before ultimately extending up with its price. But until that happens, I'm honestly anticipating some more short-term movements. So expect to see consolidation or a correction to the downside, maybe down a 20-cent recovery for XRP as this is its next support. And then we could expect to see some more beautiful uptrends happening. Now, honestly, I don't expect us to go any lower than our previous high or a previous low of $8,300 on Bitcoin. So we could expect to see maybe another one at play of around $8,800 to $8,900, and then see that beautiful branch to the upside. So obviously make sure to put out your stop losses, but anticipate maybe a small correction down to 87.5 before we see any sort of consolidation or breakthrough to the upside. Now, I do just want to look at a couple of other things. You can see XRP, like I said, a small correction to the downside. I don't think we're going to go that much lower. If we break bearish all the way to 20 cents, that ultimately breaks through our previous higher lows that we've set. So there's a chance that we could fall a little bit lower. It's honestly a very gray and shady area for XRP, but we could expect to see some interesting movements following through. Now, before I end today's episode, I do want to discuss with you Bitmints, a coin or a website that we've been using for almost a year now, and I haven't really talked about it because it was down for maintenance for quite a while, and now it's finally back up, and there are definitely some very, very, very big changes that came to this website. Ultimately, we used to have a marketplace where you could basically sell your coins, and Bitmints, the website, would middleman their transactions and ultimately pay you through PayPal. That's ultimately changed right now, where you are no longer allowed to sell through Bitmints in a way. Yes, they still kind of middleman it, but they don't work out the prices. So what we're seeing right now, which is interesting, is a marketplace where you now have to have one-on-one conversations with other people in the space. So basically, they're taking away their middleman position, and you now have to negotiate and talk out an average price and offer for your Bitmints, and then if you guys come upon agreement, they will then pay you via Bitmints and pay you through the website, or I guess you could do it privately. And there are a lot of group chats and things and forums and Reddit forums that are coming, to life since this change has happened. But honestly, it seems like now I feel like more of a waiting duck, waiting for someone to message through. Surprisingly, today when I signed on, I actually had a message from somebody interested in one of my cryptos or one of my Bitmints. And what that also means is out of the ones that you buy, some of them which do have an apparent value may not be worth it to some other people who are interested in buying it. Only the ones that have the most value may be people may be more interested in actually purchasing from you. So kind of like a pack of trading cards or baseball cards. You buy a pack of 10 or 9 cards. Maybe one has value and the other 8 are duds. So you have to kind of look at that, or that's the vibe and the appearance that I'm starting to get off of Bitmints. Whether or not you like that, it's obviously up to you to decide. But you can see my recommended value is 12,300 based off of Bitmints, but I may not actually receive that in value. So I actually thought what would be cool is, now that I have this message to actually go through the process with you guys on the channel to kind of see how exactly it goes. Because you can see right now I do have an offer from this person, and they actually offered me on a certain Bitcoin around $668, and I want to see if I can actually cash this out and turn it into USD. You can see more info, his emails right here, his Telegram, yada yada. The offer you see is not the real one, he's just saying. This is just one to send the message fast, and I prefer to negotiate privately. So this is definitely a huge change going into Bitmints. So I do want to discuss it with you. I'll let you guys know more as the as this message and this transaction, this relationship I have with this person continues, and I will keep you posted. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's episode. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.